back to the NightChild Reviews Prince, and we're looking at Prince's greatest B-sides, and today I've chosen a track called Hello. Now Hello has a great story. It's one of those rare songs like P-Funk, which later became funk, of Prince kind of answering his critics through his song. This is a kind of song with a deep message. Now Prince was asked to be a part of the We Are the World, USA for Africa charity appeal, and Prince stated that he would kind of probably clam up in a room with so many great people, so he offered to donate a song instead, and he offered the moving song called For the Tears in Your Eyes. Now, because he declined to sing in the We Are the World charity appeal, there was some criticism in the press. There was also incidents with Bodyguards and various things, and some people criticised his decision to just kind of donate this song instead. So Prince wrote this song to kind of really answer those critics. This is kind of Prince, often he's best when he's kind of really got a point to prove, and this is one of those examples. This track was the B-side to Pop Life, or if you're living in Europe, it was the B-side to Rise Be Beret, again, two great Prince songs. But this is just Prince on his own with Jill Jones. So it's just Prince and Jill Jones singing this. Now, I've got to say this song has some fire in it, it has some grit, it has some determination. I mean, right out of the gate, you've kind of got this, Jill and Prince are kind of singing, but there's this very slamming, kind of very aggressive drum beat. It's a real kind of, strident synth and to give it a really catchy melody, but this is a kind of real powerful song that really just bangs and bangs and bangs. It's kind of aggressive, it's loud, it's in your face. Now there's lyrics which really kind of explain the situation Prince found himself in. He talks about, I tried to tell them that I didn't want to sing, but I'd gladly write a song instead. They said okay and everything was cool, till the camera tried to get in my bed. And then Prince kind of imitates a kind of paparazzi photographer with his English accent and talks about, how a man tries to get in my car. No introduction, how have you been? Just up yours, smile, that's right, you're a star. Which is kind of, I can imagine this incident happening and Prince kind of, having his privacy invaded, particularly at that time because he was so popular after Purple Rain. He was just mobbed and you couldn't go anywhere. Now Prince kind of also defends his use of bodyguards, where he talks about, he calls them friends because I guess I'm used to having them around. And he talks of, this is the trouble he gets when he's uptown. Now, it's quite interesting for me, the line that has the greatest resonance, and it's probably the greatest retort, is where Prince sings and Jill Jones sings, "We're against hungry children, our record stands tall, but there's just as much hunger here at home. We'll do what we can, if you'll try to understand that if you give a flower water it will grow, and a child misunderstood will go. Hello." Now the thing about Prince is he does a lot of charity work, but not in a very obvious way. He doesn't kind of necessarily talk hugely about it. He does donate a certain amount of money, and he's not somebody who kind of necessarily pushes that forward. So people certainly had this idea of him in 1985 that he wasn't doing enough. Interestingly, there's a really great extended version of Hello. It's got a 12-inch song and it's got so many extra lyrics to it. It's got some really fascinating bits where Prince talks about, you call me a fraud, an uncaring wretch, but I'm an artist. My only aim is to please. You see, words are like shoes. They're just something to stand on. I wish you could be in my shoes, but they're so high you'd probably fall off and die. So words are definitely not like shoes. They are weapons and tools of destruction. And you're boring unless you're putting something down. What would we be if we just believe what we read? A smile is just hiding a frown. Isn't life better when you have a pair of good shoes? So Prince is kind of having a go at these kind of people kind of assuming what he's like, and also the fact that he does work for charities, but he didn't want to sing in this particular single. He wanted to just donate this song, and that was something he felt comfortable with doing. As far as the song goes, Prince's interplay with Jill Jones is fantastic, and I've got to say it's a shame that they didn't record more stuff together, because though they did record a certain amount together, their voice really works well together. It just kind of really works. It gives Prince's voice just this added dimension, having Jill Jones kind of underneath. She tends to follow the lyrics fairly closely, but she really just does give it this kind of extra dimension. I've also got to say that I think this song has an element of immediacy, like it was written quite quickly. It was about kind of Prince saying, right, I've got a point of view to put across, I want to answer these criticisms, I want to get this down into song. And I think that's quite interesting, because this song is very much a kind of capsule of the time, of the things that Prince was going through, and the kind of backlash to a certain extent. After Purple Rain, he became very popular, and certainly, I don't know what it's like in other countries, but in Britain, as soon as you become popular, the very next stage the press have is, right, how can we destroy this person? How can we go after this person? It's something that the paparazzi kind of tend to do. So it's quite interesting. This is a real kind of moment of time, and it's one of those songs a lot of Prince songs can be kind of beyond the time. They're not necessarily, you can listen to them and kind of, but this is very much about a specific moment and a specific controversy that was engulfing Prince.